What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing. I just finished up watching Xander Zayas versus Elias Espadas, and this was an 8-rounder in the super-welterweight division. And this fight was Saturday, August 13th from Resorts World in Las Vegas, Nevada. And this fight was broadcasted on ESPN, ESPN Plus, or in the ESPN app. And in this fight, Xander Zayas really put on an excellent performance. He got a statement 5th round knockout victory over Elias Espadas. So I personally scored this bout, or had this bout scored 40-35 in favor of Xander Zayas, leading up to the stoppage. So Zayas on my scorecard won every single round, and he also scored a knockdown leading up to the finish of the fight. So Espadas was a fighter going into this fight who was never stopped. He had 4 losses but 22 wins going into this fight, never been stopped. And Xander Zayas put on a show. In the first round, Zayas landed a big left hook. He feinted first, and it led to Espadas leaving his chin open. He got caught with that left hook, sat him down to the canvas. It seemed like it was more of a flash knockdown with just the punch he landed, but it was a very, very perfectly timed shot from Xander Zayas. So that was an easy 10-8 round for Zayas. Round number 2 was a round where Zayas won pretty easily, landed the bigger and better shots. Same with round 4, but round 3 was a round where Xander Zayas was actually able to sort of hurt Espadas a bit with some body shots. He was landing some shots to the head, left the body open, landed some hooks to the body, and Espadas just started walking back as if he was really hurt. But then later on in that round, Zayas was able to buckle Espadas a bit with some nice left hooks, and that left hook was a big punch in this fight for Xander Zayas. So to talk about that 5th round where the fight did end, Xander Zayas landed a big, it was sort of in the beginning of the right hand, or the beginning of the round, he landed a big right hand on just like about the chin, the point of the chin of Espadas, and Espadas was sent backtracking, fell down to the canvas. And immediately when he got up, the referee stopped the fight. I think it wasn't the best stoppage from going to be 100% honest, but he really did have no chance to win that fight. And it's not like he was getting absolutely dominated. I mean, he was throwing some shots of his own, but he did get dropped twice. But nonetheless, I mean, I think Xander Zayas would have won that fight no matter what. So, I mean, this was a very solid win. He stopped Espadas for the first time ever. I mean, obviously because Espadas, he has 5 losses now, only 1 being by stoppage, and that is to Xander Zayas. So, I mean, it definitely shows, I guess you could say, a statement of his power. And he's only 19 years old, so he's got a lot of time to grow. He's very, very good for a prospect thus far. So I think in his next fight, I mean, this goes into the question, what is next for him? I mean, his next fight is definitely not going to be against someone who's like top 25, top 20, top 15, top 10, obviously, because he's a young prospect. He's still rising up. So, he's now 14-0 after this fight. So I think in a couple more fights, they'll start to really stiffen up the competition a lot more, because yet again, he's very, very young. So it's not really good putting a guy who's like just about to turn 20 years old into a massive, massive fight. Although he shows he has the goods, I mean, we have to see him step it up a bit. So I think in his next fight, they'll just take a decent little step up from this level of competition. Like currently, Espadas is ranked number, I think, like 114 on BoxRec or somewhere around there. So, I think they'll get him in with a guy who's like number 70 in the world according to BoxRec, maybe number 80, and that's definitely a very solid opponent. So I definitely think he'll step it up a little bit, but I think he'll face someone around that level in his next fight. But as for Elias Espadas, I think that he's going to, in his next fight, take on maybe some lower level competition. In his next few fights, actually, he'll take on some lower level fighters, get some wins there, maybe get called back up, because, I mean, he does seem like a decent opponent for some very solid fighters, just to get a nice win back or something like that. So I think he could get called up in the next couple fights to fight on another decent promotion, or another big promotion, just as like an opponent or the B-side or something like that. So overall, Xander Zayas puts on a show as he gets a statement 5th round knockout victory over Elias Espadas to stop him for the first time in his career. Xander Zayas is now 14-0 with, I believe, 10 knockouts, and Espadas now has a record of 22-5 with his first ever stoppage loss here. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.